you're looking to dive into topics on how to live a happier, healthier, more fit, and long lifespan, then you've come to the right podcast. Livin the Dream with me, Coach Damian Evans. Together, we will explore the topics on all things health, fitness, and wellness. Together, we will be lifelong learners on this journey to living the ultimate dream.
What up, Dream Team? Coach D here coming at you from beautiful sunny San Diego, and welcome back to the Livin the Dream podcast, where we're going to finish this week strong by covering how to properly fuel our bodies based on what works best for us individually and in order to reach for your health, fitness, and wellness goals and in order to live your dream life. And today we're cracking open one of the most controversial topics in nutrition: eggs. Few foods have been as persecuted and later vindicated and then again persecuted as the humble egg. Is it a villain raising your cholesterol and harming your health? Or is it a nutritional powerhouse? We've all heard the extremes. Eggs are going to kill you and eat as many as you want. But what does the science actually say? If you're confused about eggs, you're not alone. By the end of this episode, you'll know the truth, you'll know the myths, and how to make eggs work for you or not in whatever diet you have. Few foods have been as misunderstood as the humble egg. Are they villains? Are they heroes? Or are they something in between? The truth is more nuanced, as always, than the headlines would have you believe. Eggs have been accused of raising cholesterol. They've been celebrated as brain food and everything in between. But what does the science really say? And how can you make eggs work for your health goals? So let's peel back the layers. Let's crack some misconceptions and let's get to the yolk of the matter. First, a little history. Back in the 1950s and 60s, eggs were demonized because of their high cholesterol content. Scientists at the time had just discovered the link between high blood cholesterol and heart disease. They were terrified. So they assumed dietary cholesterol had to be the culprit. Of course, you eat cholesterol, cholesterol goes in your body, and that gives you heart disease. Naturally, they pointed fingers at cholesterol-rich foods like eggs. In 1968, the American Heart Association recommended eating no more than 3 eggs a week. No more than 3 eggs a week in 1968. And this right here, this was the start of decades of egg paranoia. By the 1970s and 80s, it seemed everyone was avoiding eggs like the plague. But as the years went on, researchers found that dietary cholesterol doesn't have a big impact on blood cholesterol. It doesn't have as big of an impact on blood cholesterol as we once thought. It turns out your liver adjusts cholesterol production based on your intake. As researchers dug deeper, they realized dietary cholesterol, like the cholesterol in eggs, doesn't have as big of an impact on blood cholesterol as we thought. Instead, it's actually saturated fat that plays a larger role in raising LDL, or what they call the bad cholesterol. If we fast forward to the early 2000s and the narrative started shifting, large-scale studies showed no significant link between egg consumption and cardiovascular disease for the average person. And by 2013, even the AHA quietly removed its egg restrictions, focusing instead on dietary patterns as a whole. Eggs were no longer public enemy number one. Today, we know that eggs can fit into a healthy diet for most people. Though, as with anything, context matters. Yet weekly, I still get someone telling me that they don't eat eggs based on something that they were probably taught growing up, something from 1968, that eggs are bad for your cholesterol. I've worked with and I've known many daily egg eaters. Some of them eat 4 to 5 or more of them every single day. But like many of you, I've wondered, is that doing more harm than good? Clips and headlines often leave us questioning if our choices are right. But as we'll explore, much of the concern around eggs stem from outdated or exaggerated claims. So we're going to address the elephant in the room, cholesterol. Yes, eggs contain cholesterol, but for most people, this isn't a problem. Studies show that daily egg consumption doesn't significantly increase cardiovascular risk for the average person. 2023 study from the University of Connecticut found that people who ate eggs daily had higher nutrient levels and no increase in cholesterol or inflammation markers. Their red blood cell counts even improved, which can help with oxygen delivery and energy. When it comes to the fat profile of eggs, they're surprisingly balanced. Eggs are about 40 to 45% monounsaturated fats, the same heart-healthy fats that are found in extra virgin olive oil, 40 to 45% monounsaturated fats. They also contain some polyunsaturated fats, including omega-3s and a small percentage of saturated fats. So the next time someone tells you that eggs are, quote, bad because they have fat, remind them that the majority of that fat is the same kind of fat that is found in foods like avocados and olive oil. Here's where it gets interesting though. For most people, eating eggs doesn't significantly raise blood cholesterol. Why? Because your body regulates cholesterol production. If you eat more cholesterol, your liver produces less. But there is a catch here. About 25% of people who we call hyper-responders, for the hyper-responders, eating eggs can lead to a noticeable increase in LDL. If you're in this group, then of course, moderation is key. You don't need to completely avoid them, but moderation would be key. And the only way to find that out would be to go to your doctor. It's worth noting that in 2015, the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee removed cholesterol limits, saying there are no direct links between dietary cholesterol and heart disease for most people. And this was a game changer for most egg lovers. Let's also talk about heart disease. It was once believed that dietary cholesterol from eggs led to plaque buildup and heart disease. I know someone's grandfather who was told to avoid eggs after his diagnosis of coronary artery disease. And sadly, despite avoiding his favorite breakfast, he passed away at 73. Now, decades of research from Harvard show no significant connection between egg consumption and heart disease for the average person. Eggs are a nutritional gold mine. Max Lugavere from The Genius Life, and who wrote a great cookbook called The Genius Kitchen, he calls eggs the multivitamin for the brain. They have everything that you need. Choline. Choline is essential for brain health. Choline helps to form something called acetylcholine. This is a neurotransmitter that allows your brain and your body to communicate. Eggs are one of the richest dietary sources of choline, helping your brain and your body communicate. There are things in eggs called lutein and zeaxanthin. These are antioxidants that support eye and brain health, reducing oxidative stress and inflammation. Chronic inflammation, the one that causes lots of chronic diseases, lutein and zeaxanthin. Eggs are also a complete protein. Eggs contain all the essential amino acids that your body needs. A single egg has about 6 grams of high quality protein. Now, there is one little caveat here. I ask people all the time, do you eat enough protein? And they're like, yeah, I eat enough protein. I eat 2 eggs in the morning and blah, blah, blah. Eggs only have about 6 grams of protein, and people do need a higher amount of protein when their goals are body fat loss, muscle mass gain, all sorts of body recomposition goals. So putting all your eggs in one basket when it comes to eggs and protein doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because they're only about 6 grams per egg, which is great. It's amazing. But definitely if you're someone that thinks they get high protein, you might want to track and see if that is actually getting you towards the 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight that I recommend for almost most goals. So eggs are a complete protein. They also have tons of vitamins and minerals. Vitamin D, B12, selenium, zinc. Eggs pack a serious nutritional punch. And that yolk, the stuff that people usually throw away, it's the star housing most of the nutrients. And don't fear fat. The fat in eggs, again, are primarily monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, the good kinds, with a smaller amount of saturated fat. Avoiding the yolk means missing out on key nutrients: vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. If you can handle the calorie load, definitely include the yolks in your meal for most people and most goals. Let's do some actionable takeaways here for the dream team. Here is an action step for navigating the great egg debate. First, test your tolerance. Pay attention to how you feel after eating eggs. If you're concerned about cholesterol, maybe talk to your doctor and consider getting a blood test and see how eggs affect you personally. Test before you start eating eggs, and then eat eggs, and then after a period of time, get tested again and see what happens. Because maybe you're a hyper-responder, or maybe you've been avoiding a food that could be really good for you, and you can start to implement it into your diet. Also, focus on dietary patterns. Remember, the whole diet matters way more than any single individualized food. Balance your plate with lean proteins, with healthy fats, and with plenty of fruits and vegetables. Prioritize nutrient quality. If you eat eggs, go for the higher quality ones. Pasture-raised or omega-3 enriched eggs offer more nutrients than conventional eggs, and the way that the chicken is raised is super important here. Spending a little bit extra probably goes a long way. Avoid extremes. Obviously, as with anything, the poison is in the dose. Don't overdo it with eggs, or any food for that matter. Too much of anything can lead to imbalances. And then just keep your perspective. Whether you include eggs or not, what really matters is that you're making informed, intentional choices for your health, and not just doing what you think you've heard through the grapevine, through headlines. Do your own research and make informed, intentional choices. See how eggs actually affect you. Keep a food journal. Don't fear cholesterol. If you're generally healthy, there's no need to avoid eggs. If you're concerned, then consult your doctor and check your cholesterol levels. Test, don't guess here. When you opt for quality, pasture-raised, omega-3 enriched eggs, those are the best options for the most nutritional bang for your buck. And incorporate them wisely. Pair your eggs with vegetables. So eggs with vegetables help to create this nutrient-packed meal that supports both your health and also kind of your taste buds. Embrace balance. Eggs can be a great part of a healthy diet, but moderation is key. Balance them with other nutrient-dense foods for optimal health. Here's the bottom line. Eggs are not the villains. They're not the villains that we once made them out to be. But they may not be a superfood cure-all either. They're just a humble, versatile food that can fit into your healthy diet if you choose to. And they have so many good things that we just talked about that really could help you on your health journey. What I want you to take away from this is the power of context. Nutrition isn't about fear or fads. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and making choices that serve your goals and your values. Nutrition isn't about absolutes. It's about understanding your body, your goals, and making choices that empower you to live your best life. So I challenge you this week, take a closer look at your dietary patterns. Are they supporting the life that you want to live? If eggs are a part of that, awesome, love it. If not, that's fine too. You are the CEO of your health, and the choice is yours. So whether you're scrambling some eggs for breakfast or just skipping eggs altogether, the power is in your hands. Be informed, be intentional, and rule number 1, do what works for you. And that's it, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me on this Fuel Up Friday episode of the Livin the Dream podcast. Please share the knowledge that you gain with your friends and family and hold each other accountable. If this episode inspired you, share it with a friend and help spread the truth about nutrition. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to on, and please help me grow this podcast if you could. It really helps a lot. Leaving a review, telling others how this podcast helps you to live a happier, healthier, and live longer, and comment on this episode. You can now comment on Spotify, you can comment on YouTube, letting me know what you thought about this episode. Tag me at livinthedream_podcast or at Coach Damien_SD and let us know what you thought. Let us know what we missed. Let us know what we got wrong. We want to know. Message us if you have any suggestions or tips that would help your Livin the Dream team that we can discuss on future episodes. I will be right here with you, working on making us stronger, happier, and healthier humans. Until next time, friends, keep living the dream.